country wouldn't be what it is without the power of black people.
Right, free labor.
It wouldn't be what it is without black people. And so how can we not acknowledge that? How can we not tell the full and just history of what has happened in this country? And how can we not repay the descendants of slaves?
Right.
I envision a life that they can, live way more better than me. They could live a life of financial freedom.
Right.
They could live a life of not going outside of their homes, not being in fear. They could live a life where they don't have to be a statistic of being just a number in a prison cell, but they can be the next billionaire, the next, whatever their mind can imagine or dreaming that they can achieve it. So it's our duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win. We must love and protect one another because we have nothing to lose but our chains. You gotta learn to be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And give yourself grace.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, for being here with us. This is another episode of Feed Your Focus podcast. I go by the name of Boris. We are here in Washington, D.C. with a special guest. Right now, we are at an event called Young Entrepreneur Network Event, organized by Shaxmedia here in Washington, D.C. for Rwanda Day 2024. And I'm with a special guest today. I'm just going to give him his time so he can just introduce himself. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be right here.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, man. But before we go ahead, can you tell us exactly what's your name and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Tylik McMillan. I'm a civil rights activist, movement strategist. I'm one of the organizers for the 2020 March on Washington, and I make some good trouble at the White House and in Capitol Hill every now and again.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So where did you get the inspiration to be like a leader in that type of vibe?
Yeah, definitely. So I remember sitting with my great grandmother at a very young age. I used to love sitting with her, and she used to always talk about this work, and I gained interest being in it. And at the age of 13, I started working for civil rights legend and icon Reverend Al Sharpton. He became a mentor of mine. I kind of just grew up in the space, and I'm grateful for the rooms I've been able to see.
Right.
At a 27 years old. I'm just grateful to do this work for real.
Absolutely, yeah. It's actually also a blessing for young black men, especially here in America, to have people that that are like you that's fighting for us. This very it's very inspiring to see. But so when did you before you get into everything else, where do you get your passion from?
I get my passion from, I think about the world that we can see for real. It's all down to humanity at the end of the day.
Right.
And I envision a world where my children's children and what the history books will say about me, first of all, but what my children's children, the life that they can live.
Right.
I envision a life that they can, live way more better than me. They could live a life of financial freedom.
Right.
They could live a life of not going outside of their homes, not being in fear. They could live a life where they don't have to be a statistic of being just a number in a prison cell, but they can be the next billionaire, the next, whatever their mind can imagine or dreaming that they can achieve it. So, and that's for everybody's children. I believe I'm rooting for everybody black, first of all, and I believe in the liberation of black people.
Absolutely.
And then we can achieve that for real.
Absolutely. Do you think that where we are right now and the state of the economy and the state of the country right now and the vibe, do you think that we are there yet, or
no,
it's still going to be a fight?
I think it's still going to be a fight. I think this work is always an evolving fight. There's always something that we can do more. I always say this saying, complacency is the enemy of accomplishment. So we can never feel complacent or comfortable where we are, but there's always more that we can do. But I think we've achieved great things over the years. But we're not comfortable with it because we know the greatness that we have inside of us and what we're possible to achieve for real.
Absolutely, and we also, I heard that we built this country,
We definitely did.
Yeah, really,
on the backs of slaves.
On the backs, right, for like 400 years.
That's right. Exactly.
As far as there's like a lot of topics going on right now, because we are in like a political movement right now.
Yeah,
You know,
it's an election year.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about reparations?
Oh, I'm a huge supporter of reparations.
Oh, for real?
As I
Yeah.
just said before, this country wouldn't be what it is without the power of black people.
Right, free labor.
It wouldn't be what it is without black people. And so how can we not acknowledge that? How can we not tell the full and just history of what has happened in this country? And how can we not repay the descendants of slaves?
Right.
As we see here, when we look at the racial wealth gap, we look at home ownership, we look at all these things, the divide that black people are still climbing to achieve just that gap where our counterparts are thriving in these places. And so we deserve our 40 acres and a mule. We deserve all of that was promised to us.
Right.
When they said it on paper.
I know, bro. I feel like we deserve that too, though. For real, I ain't gonna lie, for sure. But other than that, I do know that you're also like a motivation speaker.
Every now and again, yeah.
When did you start going into that direction as being a motivation speaker?
I think being a social justice advocate, you have this yearning fire to speak and talk to people, and so I mean, growing up, I grew up in the church. I've always spoken in front of folks.
Right.
But being a civil rights leader, you speak in front of protests and crowds. Like I said, I got the opportunity to play in a march on Washington. I spoke in front of 200,000 people.
Right.
And so it's like you get put in these spaces to speak in front of people.
Right.
I think it's my job to inspire a generation of people to feel like they should step up and do something.
Right.
Or inspire folks in other spaces that feel like they should be allies to us so we can get the things that we know that we deserve. And so it's all in the business of inspiration and moving people to do the right thing.
Absolutely, man. And then right now, what are your future plans? What are you working on right now? It's an election year, 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you working on right now?
I'm all about building young black political power. How can I inspire a generation of young folks to want to get engaged? Not even the folks that are like me, because everybody's like me when I was younger who always knew they wanted to be in this space. But understanding that, it doesn't take a for space, but everybody can be in this space in their own right, and you just got to find the love and the passion to do it. And that's my inspiration. My inspiration is to turn out and to just tap in. Really
I
tap
know,
in.
bro. I'm really scared though. Like, you think that we're gonna pull this off this year?
I mean, it's a crazy year, but
Right.
I'm remaining optimistic to it.
Right.
But it only happens when people come together.
Absolutely.
Because as they say, it's our duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win. We must love and protect one another because we have nothing to lose but our chains. Shout out to Asada Shakur.
Thank you so much. But we are here right now, at an entrepreneur event, entrepreneurship. Young black people here, come together. It was organized by Shaxmedia. How did you link up with Shaxmedia, or how did you know him?
Yeah. So I met him at the U.S. Black Chamber Power 50 Under 40.
Right.
And I saw.
Oh, that's a flex. Bro. Can you say that again, please? Yeah. Whoa,
It was
whoa.
the U.S. Black Chamber Power 50 Under 40. I was being honored back in September, and he was getting all the good photos. I'm like, I gotta hit him up and see what these photos looking like. And I saw them photos, and the photos was fire. So I'm like, we connected, traded Instagrams and social media, and we just been in contact ever since. And I've been keeping up with his work. He's been keeping up with mine, and he reached out, and I'm like, of course I'm supporting.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up. And
Absolutely,
so,
man.
Here I am.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man, for being here with us too. This is, the name of the podcast is Feed Your Focus, as you know, and we just talk, to our folks, talk to a lot of different people like you, that following their journeys in this life, and it's just a privilege to talk to people like you, it's like a good thing for us and for our viewers.
No, look, that was exciting. I appreciate the invite to being here, and I appreciate you all creating the space to have these conversations to get them out to your viewers. So yeah,
Absolutely. So, how long have you been living in DC?
I've been here 5 years, but I
5
feel
years.
like I've been here a lifetime for
Your
real.
lifetime. Do you love DC? Do you love DC?
I love DC. DC
and everything about it.
DC stresses me out.
Yeah.
But during the week.
Yeah.
But it's a good time on the weekend.
It's a good time
Sunday
on the
fun
weekend.
day. I'm a brunch connoisseur.
Yes, sir.
And so DC is a good time. It's a good balance. So I enjoy it. It's expensive,
It's very expensive.
but
I heard that.
it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely,
to say the least.
man. Yeah, before we go, man, this is just a short period of, it's a short interview, but we're just definitely happy to have you here. Can you please tell us, how do you feed your focus?
How I feed my focus. How I feed my focus is I continue to do this work. I continue to I give myself grace at times. I'm patient with myself, and I prioritize my mentals. I feel like a lot of times, being in this work, you can get distracted. You can get so gun ho to it where you feel like you got to be Superman.
Right.
But I think I've come to this realization that as long as I put my best foot forward, as long as I'm fighting for what I believe in, and I can go to sleep at night feeling good about the work that I've done, you gotta learn to be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And give yourself grace.
Give yourself
That's my motto for the year. Grace all 2024.
Grace All 2024, man. Thank you so much for being with us today, man. Before we end, do you have any word of encouragement, or what would be like the best word you can tell us right now for every young black people that's watching us right now, every young people that's trying to follow your path, or every young people that you inspire? Like, what would you be the best thing that you can tell them right now?
I would tell them never be comfortable. Never be comfortable. As I said, complacency is the enemy of accomplishment. You feel like you've arrived somewhere, you haven't made it yet. And that just feeds your hunger to do more, to strive for more, to be better, to be a better person, to love more, to be more gracious in life. But the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. It's only the beginning.
Absolutely, but before I let you go though, I gotta ask you this. Can you tell us what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face as far as like social